Let us chant Namo Tassa before the start of the session. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay. So during our last revision class, we were able to go through the origination of Rupas, isn't it? We read through Kamma, Ja, Chitta Ja, Utuja, and Aharaja Rupas. And then we came on to the chart on matter of physical phenomena, Rupas, remember, with the orange, right? So that is where we are going to pick up today, right? That is where we are going to pick up today. So in terms of the page on the book, it will be page number 260, right? So that is the end of the Rūpa Sangaha. So just keep that page there, because you might have to go and refer back to the Rūpa chapter if you do not understand any part of what we are going to be doing today, right? And of course we have this chart. I wonder if you've been able to print it out, right? This chart, which is this orange chart, right? And a chart, I was looking for a chart which amalgamated the four Kamma, Chitta, Uttu, Ahara, Ja Rupas, and how they, or what chittas or what consciousnesses would cause them. I did not find such a chart on the book. Have I missed out? Is there a chart like that on the book, where, for example, the four loba chittas produce these, or because of the four, these chittas, or these come into come into being? Is there a chart like that? I did not find one. But in the commentary, I found it on the commentary, right? So this is a Pali commentary, it's the English translation of the Abhidhamma Pitaka, right? Abhidhamma Sangha. And on that I found this chart where it says, I hope you can see, let me try to zoom. There you go, right? So we have KCIHV, which is Kammaja Rūpa, Chittaja Rūpa, Iriyapata, Hasitupada, Vinyatti, right? And then on this chart, we have the four chittas rooted in attachment, accompanied by pleasure. These four chittas are able to produce Kammaja, Chittaja, Iriyapata, Hasitupada, or smiling, right? And the Vinyatti, right? So this chart here, the Hasitupada Chitta.
Bhante, excuse me, Bhante.
Yeah.
In our book, page 249 is that chart.
Lovely. Where is that?
249, page 249.
249. Lovely. Thank you so much. 249. Here. Yes. Here it is. Lovely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Right. So yes, we did go through this last time as well, didn't we? Right. I think we did. We did go through this. So this chart as well. So now let us get back to where we stopped last time. Does anyone have any questions from what we already did last time in the revision class with regards to Rūpa? No. Okay. So let us move on. And then if you have any questions, we will take it from there. Okay. So we were discussing Kammaja. Now this Kammaja Rupas here. Right. Kammaja Rupas. just put you up here. Okay. Kammaja Rupas, right? Kammaja Rupas. So within the Kammaja Rupas, which we have here, we have the vital nonad, right? The vital nonad. We discussed with regards to the vital nonad, we discussed where the vital nonad, or in what kind of instance would the vital nonad arise, right? In what kind of instance would the vital nonad arise? Anyone? The vital nonad would arise?
In the Asanya.
Correct. Asanya Sattva. And we know this. Because here we see that the heart base does not exist. You see here? The heart base under vital nonad, if you go to see what is missing, the heart base is missing. Karma produces the vital nonad, but there is no heart base. Meaning, what is a heart base? Heart base performs the function of the base of the chitta, right? Base of the consciousness. That is not there, right? So where is the only place? The only place that we know within the 31 planes of existence, which has a physical body, but not physical body maintained and produced by karma, however, not the support of the consciousness. The only place that we know which fits such a description is the Asanya Sattva, right? Is the Asanya Sattva plane, right? Is that clear, everyone? The vital nonad. What do we have in the vital nonad? Earth, water, fire, air, visible object, Rūpa, no Sabda, Gandha, Rasa, right? Rasa, and life faculty and nutriment. Life faculty and nutriment. Okay. Now, how can we explain nutriment in this sense, though? How can we understand nutriment in this sense? Do you understand the question? If the vital nonad arises within the Asanya Sattva, how can we explain what nutriment is? Any theories?
The nutrients is essential for sustaining the individual rupas,
Okay.
rupa dharmas, because that's I think that's what I was trying to. So the oja is practically present in every rupa kalapa. The rupa, so you need oja is the food for the sustaining of the rupa, individual rupas. So that's why every kalapa has got oja in it.
Okay. So where does that oja, and then what is the nature of that oja, Damsari? How can we understand the nature of that oja in the vital nonad? Then when we are talking about ourselves, it is a little bit easier to put it into perspective. We eat.
Yeah.
Right? We eat, and that is how we sustain this body.
Yeah.
However, within the Asanya Sattva plane, those beings do not eat. Right?
Is it?
Huh?
Asanya Sattva, I think still what I understand is Asanya Sattva, they still eat.
Siri, please on your camera.
No, Asanya Sattva is because only difference is there's no consciousness.
No, I think over the khanne.
Yeah, but you need, if you have a matter, in order to sustain the matter, you need energy.
Yes, that is why I'm asking this question. How are they eating? Asanna satta, sanya. If there is no sanya, if there is no consciousness, if there is no perception, right? These beings are the closest beings to inanimate objects.
Yes.
Literally, right? They are closest. I mean, they are the closest being to inanimate objects, right? How do they eat? Where does this nutrition arise from?
Is it through smell and touch?
If the sanya is not there, right? If the sanya is not there, what is smell and touch?
Yeah.
If sanya, if asanya are sanya satta, sanyaවක් නැති සත්වයෝ, right? If non-percipient beings, no perception means no consciousness at all. And we know through our study, how do asana sattva sort of live out, or how is it that the body is maintained? Yes, Hevamali?
Kammaja.
Kammaja, yeah.
Kammaja.
Kammaja.
Kammaja. Yeah. Kammaja. Okay, Kammaja.
So their Dhamsiri, this is how we have to look at it in that sense. These beings, they do not eat.
Yeah.
The nutritive essence that is required, that is the anomaly in this. The nutritive essence that is required is also kammaja. Right? Is also kammaja. Right? That is the anomaly of the vital nonad taken into or within at the time of asana satta, within the asana satta plane.
So in simple terms, they were born with the nutrient.
Yes.
They were born with it.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a certain amount of vipaka also sustaining the life of the asanya satta.
What kind of vipaka?
Pravritti.
Yes. Kamma vipaka? No?
Yeah, karma vipaka. So
Yeah.
that is actually the food for asanya satta, yeah?
No. It is kamma vipaka. So
Yeah.
Okay. So it is kamma vipaka, right? The karma. Okay, let us understand this in this manner. When we take Nirodha Samapatti,
Yeah.
right? If we think about Nirodha Samapatti, a person is able to go into Nirodha Samapatti for a maximum of how many days?
7.
7 days, correct. So 7 days. So within that 7 days, would there be any sort of physical difference to the body, any harm to the body? Nothing.
No.
Nothing changes. Just as you go in, you come out. What is the maintaining force or power of that? It is a palachitta. Right? Palachitta is what kind of chitta? It is a resultant.
Yeah.
Resultant
Vipaka.
of Vipaka chitta.
Yeah.
Right? Resultant. Yeah. Vipaka. Right?
Yeah.
Vipaka chitta. That Vipaka chitta, in the same manner we can understand for asana satta.
Asanya satta, yeah.
Right? Because in that or during that time of Nirodha Samapatti, still there is nutritive essence. Right? Nutritive essence. Hence, what produces or maintains a nutritive essence? It is completely and entirely born of kamma, right? The shakti, the force, right, at patisandhi is what allows, that is the beginning time with the nutritive essence, all the processes of the body goes on. However, the power that brings that force is the patisandhi power. right? Pratisandhi power, because you are born into that state with a powerful state of mind as a result of a powerful state of mind, right? As a result of a powerful state of mind. It is that karma vipaka that gives on, maintains the body, loves the body to persist for that long duration that it exists. Is that clear? Right? So the nutritive essence there is then also, we have to understand, is karmaja. Right? Karmaja. Now, the nutritive essence that we are talking about with regards to when we eat, that is here. The nutritive essence born of nutrition. Do you see the end of the chart, everyone? Right? This is nutrition, right? And then this is the nutritive essence, right? That nutritive essence, I'm sorry, here. Sorry. Right? That nutritive essence is here, everyone. Do you see? Penawada. Loku karanna onada. See, number 18, nutriment, and you go all the way down to the last, which is aharaja, rupas here, the pure octad and mutability undikad. You find that is a nutriment that arises when we eat because of foreign substance. This is karma. This is karma, purely karma, everyone. Right? So here you find again, karma, oja or nutrition can arise because of karma, because of consciousness, because of temperature, and because of nutriment itself. Do you understand? Now, another example that we can take is for chitta rupa. Can you think of an example? For chittaja nutrition. Can you think of an example? Give it a go. It's okay if it's not correct. Yes, Hemale.
Bhante, after meditation we feel lighter.
After meditation, you feel lighter. After meditation, you feel lighter. After meditation, you feel lighter. Okay. That is Hemamali. That lightness is the inference of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, the Mahabhutas, right? That lightness is caused by Chittaja, Lahuta, Muduta, Kammanyata. That is 22, predominantly 22 actually. Here you find that one here. Chittaja, Lahuta, lightness. That's the lightness that then occurs to bring you that light feeling. That body feels light because of the mind, right? That is Chittaja Lahuta. Right? But you're not far off. Can anyone else give it a try? Can anyone give it a try? Else give it a try. No idea? What about consciousness, right? So actually Hemamali was right partly, right? Where she messed up was when she brought in the lightness. But there are beings in the Rūpa and the Arūpa plane, their bodies are maintained because of the Bhavanamaya Sukha. Remember that? right? So if you remember the Agganna Sutra, everyone, right? When the Buddha talks about where the beings came from earlier, right? And he explains before the beings started eating, right? The sort of the oja of the earth, right? What did they maintain the body? How did they maintain their bodies? They maintained it through bhavana, right? Through bhavana, isn't it? Remember? No, you don't remember, right?
Bhante said that the Pritiyama Ahara Nagatta, like put in the stage in the
Okay,
book.
that prithya arises from bhavanamaya prithya, right? From bhavana. Now see, that is chittaja. That's a good example of chittaja. However, we also have plenty of examples of chittaja, right? Now let us say you're very tired, right? You're very tired, but you have, you bring yourself at the end of the day to meditate or something like that, right? Or to do something for another person, or to do something for a temple or whatnot. Do something more. Now you want to do it. The wanting to do it itself pushes you to now cultivate energy to do it. Now, where does that energy come from? Chittaja, Rūpa. Chittaja, Ahara. Do you understand the energy? Yeah. So we can take many examples, but that first example was, basically the beings maintain their life force through that consciousness energy there, right? Now, temperature born. What can we understand of temperature born, everyone? Temperature born nutriment. Is there a page on the book which speaks about this? I want as much participation, please, today, so that we know that everyone is sort of Is there a page on the book which talks about this?
In page, Bhante,
Yes.
in page 254,
254.
yes, under 21, the internal and external, it
Got it.
says,
Okay.
right, of them, the two material groups produced by temperature,
Okay.
the pure oxide,
Bottom of 253, Bhante.
253.
The bottom. Number 19, groups originating from temperature. The pure octave, the sound octave, undicard of the lightness, and then goes on to 254. It's 19, Bhante.
Yes, the pure octave, the
Pure.
sound,
Yeah.
the undicard of the lightness triad, the dodicard of sound and lightness triad, the four originate from temperature.
Temperature.
That is clear. But does it in any case offer an explanation of what, of how, or what, of how that nutriment is present there? Groups originating from nutriment. Let us try this one, 20. The pure octard and the undicard of lightness triads are two material groups that originate from the undicard, right? Of them, the two material groups produced by temperature, the pure octard and the sound onad, are found externally too. All the rest are strictly internal.
Internal.
Right? The 21 material groups, 9, 6, 4, 2, produce in due order from karma consciousness. As space demarcates, the characteristic marks just intricate and wise states that are not constituents of material groups. Herein, this is because space came here, what is the proximate cause of space, everyone? Do you remember? The proximate cause of space? Have you all prepared? Have you read?
A little bit. Yes, Bhante.
No, Bhante. No, I had not touched it yet.
Yes, Damsiri. Damsiri, your mic.
When you say proximity cause,
Yeah.
are you asking
Hetuva.
the okay Hetuva for
Akasa dhatu.
Yeah, because Akasdas is delimiting the individual.
Sorry, so I'm asking about the origination, Damsari. So the origination, because in the Atrakatha I found
Yeah.
that it says an anomaly of Akasa Dhatu is the fact that it is caused by Kamma, Chitta, Utu and Ahara. And you find that here. Akasa, what we know of Akasa is caused by Kamma, Chitta, Utu and Ahara. Right? And origination by all four causes, Kamma, Chitta, Utu, Ahara, Ja can cause Ahara. I'm sorry, Akasa, right? Akasa. Now, its proximate cause is matter which is delimited, right? This is explained in this manner, right? This is explained in this manner, which is matter which is delimited is Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. So the Attakatha explains to say Akasa is something which comes about in respect of or through Patavi, Apo, Tejo and Vayo, right? So we must understand as it is the delimitation of the Kalapas that we have to now take into consideration. Delimitation of the existence of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. That is Akasa. Right? That is Akasa. Is that understood, everyone?
Sometimes, Bhante, Akash is not considered as a Rūpa as such. It's a result of creation of Rūpa.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because in some of the books they say that they don't consider Akasa as a individual Rūpa, but it's a result of other Rūpa.
Yes, but
That
let us not go there, Damsari.
okay.
Let us not go there because right now what we have to know is Akasa being a situation. Right? Akasa being a situation. And that situation is categorized as a Rūpa.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because right now that is the understanding that we require. Right? When we talk about delimitation and we go forward in it, the obvious answer of that is that it is a vipaka, a result of or a cause of that Rūpa being in such a manner.
Yeah.
Right? But for now, let us take it as it is a part of the 28 Rūpas, we must understand that that situation itself is categorized as a quality that exists, a Rūpa.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, everyone, now back to the vital nonad, right? Oh, temperature. What is temperature born oja, nutriment? What is that? Oja born of temperature. What do you think?
Bhante, it's a time of presence.
Oja born of temperature. Oja born of temperature arises at the time of presence.
Yes, Bhante.
Right? Utuja Rūpa arises at the moment of presence. That's the moment of arising, Hemale.
Okay.
Right? But what is it? What is an example that we could use to understand Utuja Rūpa? Utuja Oja Rūpa. Anyone?
Bhante,
Yeah.
if somebody get angry, the temperature goes up. That's the manifestation of Urtuja Rūpa. So we'll say when you get angry or when you get excited,
Yes.
the temperature goes up.
Okay.
And so that's purely reflecting in the, is it purely reflecting in the Suddhastaka? In the, that means the pure octade.
Yes, it can be.
It is.
It can, yes, it is. It is a reflection of it can be a reflection in all parts of temperature born.
Yeah.
Right? Now let me explain that to everyone, right? Now that is essentially because, okay, so what Dhamma Center's example considers two factors, which is, you know, first of all, a person gets angry, right? Which is chitta, right? And then because of the temperature, so Dhamma Center's example is specific. This is not the way that it works all the time, but we are just discussing the example that Dhamma Center used. A person gets angry, that is conscious born, right? The conscious born, right? Because of the conscious born, right? Later on, those rupas that are produced can be affected by temperature, right? Now, if we might අපි ඊට වඩා lazy example එකකුත් ගමුද, which is let us take a egg, right? Or a being that comes to be. Let's take this. A being that comes to be because of temperature. Right? Because of temperature. Now that kind of, let's say, that kind of egg that comes to be because of moisture. Right? Because of moisture. Now that moisture born being, right? That nutriment would be brought about by the moisture itself. Do you understand? Right? Let us in that spirit, right? That makes sense, right, everyone? Does that make sense, everyone? Dil, are you okay? You have to unmute yourself. Yes, Dil.
No, but I'm having a bit of a difficulty because my charts are printed out 3 times. The color is not coming in, so they're blank. So I'm trying to follow from.
So just look at the screen, Dil. Don't be worried.
So I'm doing anyway, but I'm doing my best, Bhante. But
yeah, you're looking at the screen, right? You can see the screen on the
I
top.
can see the screen. My charts are coming out only very light, and 3 times I've done it. I've given up, and I put new ink on. Never mind, Bhante. You continue.
Okay. Yeah.
If I have a problem, I'll ask Bhante.
Yes. Just try to understand the essence.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to do, Bhante.
Lovely. Lettuce, yes, your mic is unmuted, Lettuce.
Bhante, I thought that the ahara for the digestion, the food we take, the heat, uttu helps the digestion so that the oja can get absorbed after that.
Okay, what is uttu in digestion? Lettuce. What?
I know they say the heat helps the digestion, the enzymes and all these things get activated by the heat.
You're absolutely correct. And so what I'm asking is, with regards to this, then where does that apply? Because what we are talking about here are the Kalapa. Now, if we take this section, you can see my mouse, right? If we are taking this section right here, right? This section, these Kalapas arise wholly because of temperature, right? Wholly because of temperature. So then, right? If we are now let us first work on my example, which is the egg, right? Now let us say a being comes into being, right? Because of, let us say that being, because of temperature, certain beings are, because of moisture that exists, certain beings come to be, right? that oja which is present at that moment in time with temperature, with all of those factors coming together, allows for those beings or those particles to arise, isn't it? So those particles itself becomes the cause for this nature to be, right? So for example, bacteria, we have different types of beings who arise because of moisture, right? There are so many sort of examples that we can use, right? Now that is temperature born, because of temperature, right? Because of temperature. Now what is another? Now then we have Dhamma's example, which is a person gets mad, right? Let us talk about, okay, a person gets mad, and this person, because this person sort of is angry now, that affects the look on this person's face, right? Let us say this person goes through a very tough time in life, where is going through a very challenging period in the person's life, which affects, and throughout the year or throughout a couple of weeks, the person really looks run down, right? That's a feasible example, right? Now, because of the consciousness in turn, or let us take because of the karma, let us say this person is going through this really rough time because he's going through a really bad spur of karma resultants, right? Really bad spur of karma resultants. Now, because of the karma resultants, the temperature we know is affected. Because of the karma resultants, the temperature, the utu, is affected. Now, because of this utu being affected, the utu born rupas are now affected by that hate that is experienced. Now, do you understand, everyone? Right? Now, within that chart, remember that chart we went through, it said during those karma, upada, titi, banga, all kammaja, right? Patisandhi moment. The moment of presence, we always have utu arising, like Himali reminded us, right? That utu that arises with its own sort of essence, right? Physical essence. That physical essence can include any of these, right? Now that essence, when it is, let us say, that physical essence, the nutritive essence in that temperature born essence is different to the karma born itself, that nutritive essence. And because of that essence, that changes, that affects the body. Do you understand? Remember, I also took the example of, let us say, that the rash, right? The rash, right? Or it says, Venerable Moggallana, if we take an example within the Tripitaka itself, Venerable Moggallana, he was born into a clan where he was of a specific color, right? It was only him in that family who had the color of skin that he had. It is mentioned that that was because of a karmic resulting from a bad karma of the past, which altered his original birth color, right? And what was that? That karma, how did that karma affect now the birth karma, which is through utu? Now that utu, this utu born Rūpa, affected the whole body by producing that unique signature. That utu, that nutriment, right? That nutriment is what keeps those Rūpas flowing. Do you understand? Right? Which keeps those Rūpas flowing. So it is to be understood. It is to be understood, for example, if we need protein, there are proteins that we must eat, right? If we need other types of nutrition, we have to eat other types of food. Maybe that type of nutriment is not available within the proteins that we eat, right? In the same manner, although we refer to all of this by one word, nutriment or oja, right? These oja can vary accordingly. It simply helps to maintain, assist in the persistence of that specific Rūpa, Kalapa. Do you understand? Right? Of that specific Rūpa, Kalapa. Right? So it is not to say that this oja is general for all. Right? The temperature oja can be different. The nutriment oja is different. The consciousness oja is different. However, regardless of the difference, it is oja, nutriment. Do you understand, everyone? Is that clear? Right? So then coming to what Lettice mentioned, right? What Lettice mentioned was the essence which helps in the digestion of food, isn't it, Lettice? Yeah. Is the essence dealing with the digestion of food? Yes, Lettice, you're unmuted. Am I correct, Lettice?
Yes, Bhante.
That was what you were referring to. Now the essence dealing with the digestion of food. Now how can we understand that? Right? How can we understand that? Now that essence which deals with the digestion of food is the fire element. Right? Is the fire element, the heat within the fire element. Now you see the fire element, right? Let us take now food, kama, diravana, right? We have the fire element, right? Here, right? So within the nutritive born essences of those rupas, there is a fire element, right? This fire element is said to, this element found within the ahara, this element found within all parts of the grouping, these fire element, this is supposed to be that element which deals with aging also, right? With aging as well. The fire element is found within the stomach as well. It is that fire element which carries out that task. It is not, is it temperature born? Can we think of it as temperature born? What do you think? Can we think of it as temperature born?
Bhante,
Yeah.
can I understand the way, when you eat something,
Yeah.
you are eating a pure octad,
Yeah.
right? Pure octad which has got
Yeah.
oja and tejo,
Yeah.
right? So the practically the tejo in the pure octad in nature, right, is it's something called ahara samuttana rūpa. So you create nutrient octads and develop series of octads in the nutrition group.
Damsiri, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Now when you
can you go slow as well, Damsiri?
Yeah, when you eat any food,
okay,
it's external pure octad,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Which has got Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Varna, Gandha, Rasa, and Oja.
Okay.
Right. So when it comes to when it comes to the body, your karmaja rūpa manifest, not only not the really karmaja rūpa, the oja in the karmaja rūpa manifest and create in the karmaraja rūpa manifest and create another set of aharaja rūpa, right? So that means you have a series of aharaja rūpa created from the external octad with manipulation of karmaja rupa in your body, right? And it is explained as utu samutthana. Sorry, not utu. It's a ahara samutthana rupa,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, once you get ahara samutthana rupa, the tejo in the ahara samutthana rupa, you know, in ahara samutthana rupa, there's the tejo part of it. Tejo start multiplying and creating series of groups of temperature, or what do you call the again, it's called actually Uttu Samutthana Rupa,
Yeah.
right? So it create series of Uttu Samutthana Rupa and gives the body a temperature,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a process called multiplication, side multiplication of rupas actually. So the heat is developed from the tejo in your karmaja rupa, joined with the external tejo and produce a series of kalapas.
A reaction to it.
Yeah, reaction is
As a
series. Yeah, series of if it is tejo, it's series of utuja kalapas, right? That gives the temperature to the body.
Can we also find the part in the book where it spoke about the multiplication of this, please? Someone. Remember that part in the book. Do you remember the page? Kalapa wala the multiple the
Samutthana it's called.
yes, the page, right? I'm just going to also read, right, from Lady Sadhu's book, Ahara Rūpa.
Yeah.
Right? Ahara Rūpa. Where's Manuals of Dhamma? Maybe I can just share. This is page number 13. Right? Just to sort of, because Sadhu has also explained here, Ahara, this one. Sorry. Look at it. Have a look. Big enough? Right? Okay. Ahara Rūpas. Ahara Rūpa. Sorry?
In which page you said?
Number 13.
Oh, that's okay.
Right? Ahara Rūpas means element of essential nutriment that chiefly nourishes or promotes a growth, of material life, material qualities.
Bhante, page 17 for Devika.
Page 17. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
All right. Just as the element of water that resides in earth or that falls from the sky nourishes trees or plants or mainly promotes their growth or helps them to fecundate. What is fecundate? Right. Fertilize, right? Develop and last long. Also this material quality of nutrition nourishes or mainly helps in the four kinds of bodies or matter produced by the four causes, namely karma, mind, temperature, and food to fecundate and grow. It is the main supporter of the material quality of life. It is a main supporter of the material quality of life, so that undertaking various kinds of work in the world for the sake of getting one's daily food is called man's living or livelihood, right? So it is the main supporter of the material quality of life. So it is kind of up there with Jivit Indriya as well, isn't it then? It is up there with Jivit Indriya as well, promoting. Because it is up there, shall we just read Jivit Indriya as well? Because it is up there. I hope the others understand what we are doing here. Do you all understand why we are going through these? Because one of the reasons for the maintenance of all of this is also here, material quality of life, Jivita Rupa, right? So Jivita Indriya is the main sort of force behind the persistence or the continuity that is responsible for the continuity of the Rupa. We have just read in Ahara Rupa that Ahara Rupa is also up there in terms of being one of the main supporters of those material qualities. Hence, we are reading about Jivita Rupa as well. I hope that is clear. Okay, so let me increase this. 13. Jivita means life. That is the vital force which controls the material quality. Material qualities produced by karma and keeps them fresh in the same way that the water of a pond preserves the lotus plant therein from the decay, and so informs them as to prevent from withering. The common expression of ordinary speech sorry, oh my god, excuse me. The common expression of ordinary speech, a being lives or a being dies, are descriptive merely of the presence or absence of this material quality of life. When it ceases forever with reference to a particular form, we say being dies, and we say a being is living so long as to continue its act in a particular form. This also locates itself by permeating the whole body. Now, is that clear? Does that make sense? Is the difference also, I think that also sort of brings, that examples which have been used also brings a clear difference between Ahara and Jivita, don't you think? Are you still unsure? Because if you are, I will explain. Damsri, you wanted to say something?
Bhante, but the Jivitendriya or the Jivitendriya is coming to the applicability is only for the Karmaja Rupa.
Yes, Karmaja.
So that means there are altogether 9 Karmaja Rupas.
Yeah.
The Rupa associated with all the senses,
Yeah.
and the Vastu. And so the Jivitendriya is maintaining the life in those Karmaja Rupas.
Yeah. So when it comes to the consciousness, temperature, and nutriment, Jivitendriya is not there as we see in the chart. Right?
Yeah.
It is not there. What persists life in these 3 groups is specifically nutriment.
Yes.
Right? Nutriment, which is also very interesting if you ask me. Right? I mean, think about a situation where something is consciousness, temperature, nutriment, right? And then think about think about the position of karma born, right? That is also very interesting. Wow, this revision class is really interesting. which is
Yeah. Yeah.
which is, I mean, if you look at it, right? First of all, let's come back to, let's finish this, right? Which is the Jivita Indri here speaks about a pursuant energy, right? Which is inherently the life force. The life
Yes.
force ensures the continuity of life.
Yeah.
The continuity of life, right? Whilst, so it says, maintaining the lotus and keeping it from withering, preventing it from withering.
Yeah.
Whilst in ahara, it is the nutriments that go on to a loving, fueling the lotus to bloom and come into that full position. Do you understand? Whilst the ahara rupa, the ahara rupa is far more momentary in comparison to the whole task of the jivita. Do you understand?
Mm.
Right? The whole force of the jivita. Is that clear, everyone? Just forget about that chart and consciousness not having it and all of that. Do you understand this? Make a theory, mother. Hemamali? Clear? Anoma?
Yeah, in other words, Bhante, is it same as like Kammaja is more powerful? Is it more powerful than Chitta Dutuja or Aharaja?
No. That is
No?
what we are going. So forget that chart. Do you
Okay.
understand this part? We'll come to that chart.
Okay.
Right? So this, we are talking about an energy. The energy which we are referring to, which I'm referring to right now, is Jivita Indriya. That Jivita Indriya, right? It is found throughout life. It's an energy which allows the continuation of whatever which is, right? Whilst the ahara rupa is far more momentary in its sense, where it allows that rupa to flourish at that moment, right? To flourish at that moment. It sort of nourishes that process. This nourishment can be, because we are so sort of inclined to the linguistics of it, this nourishment, when we say the word nourishment, we would think about food. But think about an energy which nourishes a certain phenomena to maintain it and keep it from decaying and withering. That is what nourishment is.
Yeah.
Right? Think about a sort of an energy which keeps or nourishes a certain energy. We would eat something that is nourishment, right? But that is broken down into energy, isn't it? Right? It's not that we find sort of, bits and pieces of our McDonald's in our blood. That is converted. The energy is taken out of it and converted. That process is that aharaja, coming from aharaja, stemming from aharaja. However, there is consciousness, there is the kamma, there is also temperature. Anything, because these rupas arise because of kamma, chitta, utu and ahara, what allows a nutrition to be? What promotes that essence, right? Through nutritive essence. That is nutrition. Do you understand? Is that clear, everyone? Right? Is that clear? Now, is that clear, everyone? Anyone who does not understand, Noeli, are we okay? Right? Now, everyone, even I know that some of you are sort of here for also sort of just to listen in, but remember, like, this can be taken into your meditation as well. So make sure that you listen attentively, right? And I think the conversation where we are heading is so lively because we have not gone to this detail earlier when we were just studying the book. So I think it's amazing, right? I feel like I'm more excited than the rest. But now let's go back to the chart, right? Let's go back to the chart now. Now, what Dhamsari pointed out here, right, which was we find Karmaja. Now think about Karmaja, right? Karmaja. Karmaja Rūpas, right? Karma born Rūpas have both nutritive essence as well as Jivita Indriya. Right, as well as Jivita Indriya, right? Now, what is then we have consciousness born, temperature born, and nutritive born, right? Rūpas, right? What is important in this sense, right? What is important? Let us look at where this springs from. That is important. Where the root comes from. මේ ධර්මයන් හටගන්නේ මොන ශක්තියකින්ද කියන දේ වැදගත්. It's important to understand what the force supporting these dharmas are. Right? Now, if we take the moment of let us say the moment of rebirth. Right? If we take the moment of rebirth, we find the moment of rebirth and following rebirth is supported, has a strong affiliation to the Patisandhi process and Chitta, isn't it? Right? It has a strong affiliation. And we know that this strong affiliation, even through Pacha, Jata, Pachaya, right? How the cause and effect or effect and cause relate to one another. Is that clear? Right? Where is that force coming from? That force is coming from the previous birth, death consciousness. Right? And it's allowing the rest to unfold in this new birth, in this new place through the power of that consciousness. Right? That is Kammaja Rūpa, isn't it? I'm going to pull out the chart. Let's pull out the chart. Where is the chart? Here we go. Right? Now this process, right? This process, can you see my screen? You can, right? This process, this Patisandhi Chitta, this is Kammaja. This inside, that's Utuja, right? And then the Chitta that arises afterwards. We find the backbone, right? Kind of like, yes, during the Pavatti moment, right? The life force of our being has a strong relation to Kamma Vipaka. To Kamma Vipaka, right? To Kamma Vipaka, which we see clearly here. Right? Which we see clearly here from the Patisandhi. How do we see it? Kammaja Rūpa, Karme Hinja Hataganne me Palvini Rūpa tika. Right? Within that Kammaja Rūpa, we have the Utuja Rūpa arising and following which Chitta the Rūpas. Right? Following it Chitta the Rūpas. But Kammaja Rūpas keep on arising. Don't forget Janaka Karmas. Janaka Karmas is what allows us to live. When the Janaka Karma finishes, we will die. Right? We cannot forget that part, the Janaka Karmas. Right? Now, let us relate that knowledge into this. Right? The life force. How is the life force supported? The physical life force, the physical life force is supported wholly through this karma born set here, which is very interesting. Right? Now, which is to say, Chitta, temperature, nutriment, born matter, right, whilst they can affect the main sort of the powerful sort of performances or the moving forward of those bodies remain within these karma born sort of energies because of the karmas that are present, even with the karmas that are present, right? Now, let us go into what was that page? Maybe what was that page? This one here. It was in page number.
Page number 249.
Yes. Thank you, Dil. Here it is. I'm going to increase, right? Now let us look, right? This is all karma born, okay? This is all karma born. Look, we find within these karma bonds greed rooted, hatred, delusion, sense, right? Sense, receiving, investigating, most of which sense does not, because it does not produce any, it's too weak, right? And then resultant because in the immaterial sphere. Out of other than that, right, we find this is all conscious. All of this can produce, I'm sorry, this is not come. All of this, these consciousness produce matter, right? All of this produce matter. These are all consciousness born, right? Consciousness born. Now, these consciousnesses that we experience, right, through life, if we ever do, right, these consciousness that we experience through life creates consciousness, right, creates consciousness. The maintenance we find according to this, where the life faculty here, the life faculty arises. The question is, why does life faculty arise only in karma born? Because of the Janaka karma. Do you understand? Because of the Janaka karma, right? Which is the ayusha that we bring as a result of our karmic energy present at the moment of death. Present at the moment of death. Now one might say, now karmic energy, what does this depend on? This depends on a number of factors. Not only the good that you do, it also depends on the country that you're born. Because of this karmic, that's the complexity of karma, right? The signatures that match with these karmas, right? There's so much of detail in that karmic chitta, right? That what it matches to is, it has a lot of details in it. For example, the fact a family living in a town and a family living in a village would have different life spans of life, isn't it? Right? Now, people in London have a higher life expectancy than a person living out of London. Right? Why? Access to healthcare, access to healthier food maybe, or whatnot. Many reasons. Right? Hence, in the same manner, karma, right, whilst they determine all these other pieces, where you're born, which country, what level of education the parents have, all of these things, the gati guna and all of the qualities and all of that of the parents and the families to which and the environments to which we are born, that in turn decide what is your life expectancy. That is within the complexity, I'm saying complexity because it is determined by a plethora of reasons, right? A plethora. Now, for example, the Buddha had a life expectancy, a total life expectancy of how long? Gautama. 120, right? Does that in any way say that the Buddha only was able to, or his Janaka karma is only that powerful? No, 120 is because beings of that time lived or is able to live for a fullest extent of 120 years, right? 120 years. Now in this current climate and situation, with the fall of nutrition or nutritive essence in our food, with the increase of illnesses, cancers, and all of these things that we have, with pollution and all of these things, now people live far too long, right? We find ourselves in a situation where through medicine and all of that, we prolong life to an extent where now we develop, for example, a brain gives up, Parkinson's and all of these sort of dementing and all of these things that people experience. People simply live too long now in comparison to what is the true life expectancy of the time we live in, right? So we find people failing, right? Their body is fading and giving up, right? Although their karmas might be different, meaning might allow longer, right? Depending upon them. Now, so then there's a disparity. That is what happens in times like this, right? There is a disparity of energy within beings as well. The environmental energy and the being, right? So that is when you have the karma to live, but that karma involves, because the body does not physically support that, because of nutrition and all of those other reasons, we find that our bodies, our brains, our systems give up before it is time. Hopefully that doesn't happen to any one of us. Hopefully. Wishing for the best. By the power of Jivit Indriya, maybe not be disturbed in such a fashion. However, we find that there. So here, that pull of life is found within the life faculty here, right? Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, right? So
Bhante, is that why you are saying that one is momentary and the other one is more prolonged?
what? No, why I'm saying that is in the fact of, hold on one moment.
Nutriment was more momentary by the heart.
Because now, Dil, the energy, right? The energy that is present. Now, if we take, for example, nutriment within nutriment born is different to the nutriment born of karma here. That is clear, right? That is clear, right? That is clear. Sorry. That is clear. So while it is known by the general term nutriment, right? While it is known by the general term nutriment, it has its categories. However, when we take life faculty, yes, life faculty, it arises and passes away. However, that sense of life faculty, that karmic pull, is far more familiar or similar to one another through the cycles. Do you get it? No. There is a sense of difference between the nutriment between the different groups. That is clear. In life faculty, there is similarity, because life faculty is an energy, isn't it? Where what pulls that energy, or what allows that energy to sort of continue? Karmic power, karma shakti. Do you get it, Dil? That is why I said it is not because it sort of endures more than 17 mind moments. It is simply on the side of familiarity, or I'm sorry, not familiarity, similarity. Similarity, right? Is that clear, everyone? Yeah. Was that who spoke?
It's me.
Yes, Sujata.
Bhante, I was just thinking now, the Buddha passed away so early in life. If we had a lifespan of, as you say, 120, actually, what is the cause for his early passing away?
The cause for his passing away?
Earlier than the normal lifespan.
Because usually after the Buddha's mission is done, right? After the teaching, and his teaching of the doctrine was done, right, the Buddha has to be invited, right? It is a Buddha niyama, apparently, where the Buddha has to be invited to live longer, or he passes into parinirvana.
But then who has to invite him? Am I asking too many questions?
Anyone.
But Ananda missed the cue. That's
So
why.
Ananda mixed the cue. So Venerable Ananda was a little bit of a tube light at that moment.
Yes.
Oh,
Right?
And too late he asked. Yeah, he missed the cue. Too late he asked him when he realized. But Buddha said he had already told and Mara is already waiting. So.
Mara is already waiting. So see, the Buddha is very understanding of Mara as well.
Yeah.
King Mara.
Right. And so if had the Buddha remained, he would have sort of enlightened more beings. But however, the Buddha had already done and completed the mission that he had come for, which is to teach Dhamma, and sort of establish a Sangha, which he did, right? Which he did. Now, any other questions? Anyone?
thank you, Bhante.
Mala.
Bhante, there's something I'm not clear about. Going back to the vital donate, and there's a being, he's dying and he's about to be born in Asanghatala. So after his Chuti Chitta, what is the next Chitta that is born in the Asanghatala?
After his Chuti Chitta, what is the next Chitta that he is born in the after his Chuti Chitta? What is the next Chitta that he is born within the Asannasatta? No Chitta. No Chitta. That's the anomaly. It's completely mind. Right? So if we go back to this, our favorite chart these days, right? Basically, this Karmaja Rūpa arises. No, we can't even take this chart actually. No, we can't even take this chart. Right? Because this is like against Chitta, right? None of this arises. Basically, death from the previous birth, death, Chitta Cheda, right? And that Cheda remains up until which part? Up until, I want to say, Chuti Chittaviti. No, there is no Chuti Chittaviti as well. Hold on, let me think about this.
No.
Yes, Damsiri.
You have
Can hear.
Chuti Chitta.
Yeah.
Freezes, and you have Chuti Chitta, but it freezes. And when
the Chuti Chitta of the previous birth is okay.
Yeah.
Right? That is okay. Chuti Chitta happens, right?
Yeah.
And it freezes. Chitta Cheda happens. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the next birth. Going into the next birth.
When you leave Asannyasatta,
Yes.
you recall your last moment in your previous birth.
Okay.
Right? And then you use the whatever the
No, Damsiri.
karmic what do you call the karma nimitta gati nimitta or anything, and you will be born again. I'm talking about after Asannyasatta. You recall the nimittas and last consciousness, and you will be utilizing that one to reborn in the next, because it freezes.
Yes. So what I remember is this. The birth, now, death consciousness. My next life is going to be Asannyasatta.
Yeah.
Death consciousness, right? The death consciousness will have the Patisandhi energy to be reborn in the Asannyasatta plane, right? In the Asannyasatta plane, I am reborn in the Asannyasatta plane. In being reborn in the Asannyasatta plane, no consciousness exists.
Yeah.
Right? From start to end. From start to end.
End.
Now, the start to end is fueled by a අසන්න සත්ත්ව, ඒ කියන්නේ අසන්න සත්ත්ව භූමියේ උප්පත්තියක් ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ කර්මය සියල්ලම වාෂ්ප වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ you burn through that karma, meaning you have exhausted it.
Yeah.
Right? It is when the asanna sattva, the karma that you had allowing you to be born in the asanna sattva plane is exhausted, that you will now achieve another rebirth. That rebirth is fueled. What is the karma? So if we might say, we have the asanna sattva karma, and then there's another karma after the asanna sattva karma, according to karma niyama. The asanna sattva karma, right? Asanna sattva karma is exhausted as you have lived out that period of time. And then the other karma, which is behind the asanna sattva karma, comes forward. And owing to that karma power, ඒක කර්ම න්‍යායෙන්මයි සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියලා තමයි මට මතක ධම්මසිරි.
Yeah.
Because it cannot go to the previous life again, because that is exhausted. It's in the past.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, it's a karma niyama.
Karma niyama.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because it can't be any other. It's purely karma niyama.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is what I remember. It's
Yeah.
purely karma niyama. So that karma, after that exhausted
Yeah.
asanna sattva karma is finished, that karma niyama will give rise to the chuti chitta. Oh. Now I'm thinking, where does the chuti chitta process arise?
No, you don't need chuti chitta because there's no chitta.
ඔතකොට කර්මජ රූප, ඊට පස්සේ චිත්තද රූප.
Yeah.
කර්මජ රූප විඥාන.
Chitta rupa.
Okay, so then we are going into Patisandhi directly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Patisandhi directly. Yeah, so for the others, so this process is followed by karma. This process is followed by karma following the death consciousness. Following the death consciousness. Right?
Bhante,
Yes, sorry.
Bhante.
Yeah.
So if a person leaves the asanya satya,
Yeah.
when the term is over, so pratisandhi happens here again, is it?
Pratisandhi happens in whichever birth. The karma after the exhausting of the asanna sattva karma, whatever
Yeah.
karma is present, the death consciousness or the birth consciousness, the Patisandhi consciousness and the bhavangas will follow in that birth.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't we have asanna sattva rebirth? Okay, there was a chart like this, isn't it? Asanna sattva rebirth explained. No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I will double check that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
For next time.
Thank you.
I will double check that as well. Now, any other questions, everyone?
Auntie, can you explain? Probably not today because we don't have time. Now you have under consciousness born chitta and under temperature born chitta and under nutrition born chitta, you have mutability undecayed.
Undecayed, yeah.
Undecayed,
Yeah.
right? Mutability undecayed is it's exactly the same component in all these three.
Okay.
Right?
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah,
why?
please continue.
Yeah, I just want to know actually how it differs in manifestation, even though the rupas are the same. You know, if you go back to the chart, the karmaja rupa, chittaja and rupaja chart, the component of the rupas in this undecayed, it's called mutability undecayed. It's the same for consciousness born, temperature born, and nutrition born. But in what respect it differs actually? It's a sort of a something interesting. It's again same as what we have. You explain very nicely the what do you call the what's the word for that? The life faculty.
Life faculty.
Yeah.
The mutability. Yeah, mutability. What are the rupas? No, hold on. Mutability, which
Rupas are actually the all
The bone, to the bone.
which is with lahuta, mudita,
and
kammanyata,
kamista, yeah.
and kammanyata, right?
And consciousness born and temperature born and nutrition born, it's all lauta, mudita, and kamanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how it differs in yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let us read about lauta, mudita, kammanyata,
Kamanta, yeah, yeah.
which is page number 15. Which is page number 15, right? Is this big enough, everyone? Right.
No, we can't see
We
Bhante.
can't see Bhante's not come there.
Ah,
It is not there, yes.
yeah. Vikara rupas, right? Vikara means peculiar expression or distinctive condition of the jata rupas, the genetic material qualities. Lahuta is lightness of the material quality. Muduta is the pliancy of the material quality. Kamanyata is the adaptability of the two media of communication. Adaptability of the two media of communication. That is Kaya Vinyati and Vachi Vinyati, isn't it? Yeah.
Kamanta.
Yes.
Right? When one of the four great essentials falls out of order and becomes disproportionate to the rest in any parts of the body, these parts are not light as usual in applying them, light as usual in applying themselves to some work, but tend to become heavy and awkward. They are not pliable as usual, but tend to become hard, coarse, and rigid. Right? Hard, coarse. They are not as adaptable as usual in their movements in accordance with one's will, but tend to become difficult and strained. Likewise, when the essentials are out of order, the tongue, lips are not adaptable according to the wish in speaking, but become firm and stiff. When the four great essentials are in good order and the parts of the body are in sound health, the matter of the body is said to be in possession of these qualities: lightness, pliancy, and adaptability, which are called the three plasticities. Now, moving on to this, right? Mutability. Is that the same? Mutability.
Yeah.
That is the same
Yeah.
word. That is the same word that is used in our book because this is
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same
okay.
thing.
Okay, let me see. Now I'm just right. We have mutability in 3 sections.
Consciousness,
Which is
temperature, born, and nutrition.
bodily intimate mutability dodecad, vocal
Yeah.
intimation, which is conscious born. Right. Bodily intimation, vocal intimation, and then we have temperature, mutability undecad, okay, and mutability undecad in the nutritive born essence, okay. Okay. Okay, so this has to be the difference, right? This has to be the difference, I'm saying, okay?
What is the difference, man?
Yes, Podakin, Hadisi Vendapa.
Sorry, Bhante.
No, I'm just kidding. So, bodily intimation, we think, we speak and we move because we want to speak and move, right? That is chittaja, right? Chitta hinda, right? So we have bodily intimation, right? Bodily intimation, mutability, right? And vocal intimation, mutability here, which deals with movement, right? The temperature born mutability deals with the pliancy, the lightness, the adaptability of the Rūpa beyond the scope of that need to move or stemming from the need to move. The same with mutability undicad under the nutriment, right? Mutability undicad in the nutriment. The factors, there is pliancy, right? Lightness, softness, and adaptability has to be maintained not only for the mere ask of conscious movement, right? Vocal and body. It has to be maintained for functions of the body to take place, right? Temperature. What does temperature deal with? Utuja. It deals with a lot of the functions of the body, right? And then nutriment. What does nutriment deal with? Same, right? Producing those nutriments, allowing those pliable nature of those nutriments, those also need, right? Those also need that mutability here. Now, within the temperature, there is a sound mutability. What is that? Right? Sound mutability. Because it is said that sound is produced by the inference of temperature, right? By the inference of temperature. That is why we have sound here, right? Looking at sound, right? We have the sound section here. The sound is included here. It is explained in the book. How sound is made. And sound is made by the change of temperature, which in turn creates a movement, allowing sound to be produced. It is said, together with the Vayu Dhatu. Right? It is in the book. Sound is created through the manipulation of temperature together with Vayu, which allows sound to be produced.
Vocal cord.
Vocal cord, yes.
Yeah.
Right? The vocal cords are sort of triggered and manipulated with temperature. That is why sound mutability is there. The other should be simply the pliancy of, or the flexibility, the adaptability of the body. Born of nutriment, right? The nutriment being, the flexibility of that. I mean, even if we take, there is flexibility of nutriment born as well, isn't it? Because when we take, there is a conversion of energy done in such a form of nutriment coming in, right? And even in moisture born, right? Even in moisture born. But the consciousness born we find with sort of bodily intimation and vocal intimation, because that is where that thing stems. Here in the bodily and the vocal intimation, apart from that, also we have the mutability where consciousness. Now, when we meditate, when we are feeling light, when we are feeling so sort of serene mind, the body is also feeling light, just like Hemamali said earlier. That is mutability undikad consciousness born.
Bhante,
Mm.
when it comes to temperature born
Mm.
mutability, it can be if somebody is singing a nice song,
Mm.
it's the you create a sort of a calmness.
Mm. Create a sense of calmness.
Yeah, sense of calmness.
Mm. Temperature born. Temperature born.
Yeah, temperature born, yes.
Okay.
And when it comes to nutrition born, probably again it's something to do with the sugar levels in your body, you know, because you always try to nutrition, you always try to those who are actually medical doctors, they can explain it much better, because there's an internal process of calming down the nutritional values of your bloodstream. And because if you have too much sugar, it will be converted into mala. But if you have too much sugar in your bloodstream, what will happen? It's stored in the too little hypoglycemic and too much
hyperglycemia.
Yeah, and you become
Converts into glycogen and fat.
Yes, the storage is to glycogen, so and then to fat.
Yeah. So there's probably scientific explanation also in that respect. Then in that case, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mutability, how you maintain the nutritional Rūpas, so
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's circle back on that next time as well.
Yeah.
We'll circle back on that next time as well, right? So good productive class, I hope. Yeah.
Yes, Bhante, wholeheartedly.
Yes, Bhante.
Bhante, at least a little bit of the cobwebs have got removed, Bhante, for me.
Yes, good. A little bit is all we need.
Yes.
That's all what I come from, Bhante. When you say and the discussion, some little bits go here and there. And I'm just hanging on to that as this is worthwhile spending of 1.5 hours to get a little bit here and there. Little of this, the what do they say? The sand particles. Little bit here and there. Hopefully one day it'll all go. But that's.
Bhante, on Monday, what are you going to do?
Did we finish the 3?
No.
We are going to
do the last 3.
We are going to finish the last 3.
Yes.
And then go into, that will consume the whole of Monday. 1.5 hours. And the following week, we'll be sort of going into a revision of the definitions of the 32, the Kapache.
24.
21, 22, 23 and 24. We have to do that.
Those 3 will be doing on Monday, and then we'll be going into a revision of the 24.
Of the?
24 Pachas.
Yes.
Or the 24.
Yeah. So yes. All right. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bhante, are you going to have another discussion session?
Yes. Shall we do Friday next week or?
Yes, Friday next week.
Revision.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These revision classes, I know, Bhante, is a lot of effort for you, but for me, they are very useful, Bhante.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't understand Bhante. Not because it's difficult, it's because I don't have the time to sit and study. But in the discussion, there's some learning. So I'm very grateful to you, Bhante, for me.
All right. No, I think a lot of people are finding, and it is pretty interesting because we are discussing things that we've not discussed before. And in the book, does it sort of state, does it go into it doesn't go into detail as to where these arise and those situations as well, isn't it? It does not, right? So we are really uncovering bits and pieces of more knowledge through the study as well. So it is, I think it's wonderful. Right. So, all right, everyone. So take care, and I will see you on Sunday for the meditation.
Meditate. Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante. Everyone, Shanai.